Hello guys, Dhananjay here and welcome back to a new video in which I'm going to review the Realme GT 2 Pro, a premium flagship device by Realme, a real actual flagship device. I have used so many Realme devices, but they are usually from 5,000, not 5,000, 10,000 to 25,000 rupees segment. This is a flagship costing almost 50,000 rupees. And how good is this device? Let's talk about everything. Is it flagship like? Should you buy this device? I'll answer all the questions in this video without wasting any time. Let's get started with the most important and the best part that I liked about the Realme GT 2 Pro, and that's the display. There are so many specifications that you need to know, like I'll show it on the screen right now. LTPO 2.0, 2K display, all these things sound really nice. But how does it look in real life? Display quality is something I was, as I said, very happy. Samsung flagships have one of the best displays. Realme GT 2 Pro is definitely very well up there with all the flagship devices present in the market right now. I was amazed by the display quality. You can run this device at 2K resolution and 120Hz refresh rate at the same time. You can also choose to go with 1080p and 120Hz. Overall display quality definitely gets a huge thumbs up and 10 out of 10 points from me, because not just indoor performance was great, even the outdoor performance was amazingly good. This is how a flagship device should be, but as this is Realme's first flagship device, I was very happy with it. Next up, we are going to talk about performance. Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 is present here. Before that, I want to talk about Snapdragon 888 and my experience with earlier devices. When Snapdragon 888 was launched, I said 865 was better. या फिर बाद में I started saying 870 was better. Now that I have used Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 वाले devices, I can definitely say Snapdragon 888 was slightly better, because even though the performance is really good, day-to-day life में you will not face any issues, no lags. Realme UI is very well optimized as well. Software part we'll talk later, but performance day-to-day life में no issues. 120Hz refresh rate display at 2K resolution runs very smoothly, no issues. Gaming, once again, very good. Multitasking, no issues. RAM, obviously 8GB, 12GB RAM variants are not going to have any issue in multitasking. But Snapdragon 8 Gen 1, Qualcomm has not been able to manage its heat performance. No matter how much liquid cooling you are going to add, it is going to become warm. Snapdragon 888, I know it's a very good chipset, but even the phones like ROG Phone 5, Phone 5s, they are thick devices with liquid cooling and all. The metal side ends up becoming warm, and that's what happens over here as well. Realme GT 2 Pro or some other devices which are going to launch in the Indian market, I can't really talk about them right now, but I will mention that in those devices video, so stay tuned for that. This is a bokeh mode video on the Realme GT 2 Pro. Now this is being recorded at 1080p. If you enable bokeh mode, then you can go maximum up to 1080p. Without bokeh mode as well, it is limited to 1080p only. Now I want to talk about camera, because I am recording this segment second time. First time I said other opinions and I do not agree to them anymore, so these are my different opinions. Now how is the camera? Primary camera sensors, these are some of the sample shots that we have clipped with the device itself. Now how do they look? What do you think about them? On the left side you can see the regular camera sample, and on the right side you can see ultra wide angle camera sample shots. Now I want to talk about the ultra wide angle camera sample shots right now only. Now this particular sample shot, which you can see on the left side, you can see the image is very bright, but on the right side there are not many details in the ultra wide angle camera shots. That's quite surprising, right? You may end up saying that this is not a good camera, but this was actually few of the pictures which did not come out to be good. But this particular sample, where you can see that the regular sample looks really good and even the ultra wide angle camera sample looks good, I would say slightly better as compared to regular camera sample, because of the sun not being overexposed. So when it comes to camera performance, I'm going to say that the camera performance is something which I personally enjoyed using. I enjoyed clicking photos with this device, but when it comes to ultra wide angle camera, in some occasions the device is not going to perform very good. It's going to be tricky, so Realme just needs to update or tweak the software a little bit so that it clicks similar pictures when it comes to some scenarios in ultra wide angle camera sample shots as well. Now there is something called as microscopic mode, and it is amazing. As soon as I told my wife that there is this microscopic mode, first of all she was not interested, but later on, once she realized wow how good it is, she clicked a lot of samples, and I did not have to click a lot of them. I also clicked a lot of them because this is a fun mode, definitely. Macro mode or microscopic mode, I mean, you can judge it for yourself. Anyway, these two modes is something which you are going to use rarely. Not every day you are going to use microscopic mode to zoom into something. But overall camera definitely gets a good thumbs up. Even the selfie camera clicked good pictures. This is the video camera sample. If I do like this, as you can see, it still keeps my face bright enough, and it does not overexpose that, and still it is good enough in my opinion. So overall camera gets a thumbs up from my side. How can I forget the 150-degree mode? Oh my god, it is amazing. There is another mode which clicks pictures which look something like this, and frankly speaking, it looks really good. 150-degree mode is fun to use, and it definitely has its own use cases, but I think that you will use 150-degree mode more as compared to the microscopic mode. Microscopic mode is also good, but 150-degree mode is much more fun and much more natural. It's easier to post photos from this particular mode, and it looks as if it was clicked from a GoPro maybe. Definitely very fun camera to use. I was supposed to talk about the build quality first, but somehow I forgot and I started with display. So even though if display was first for me, second thing is going to be the build quality. Now when these two things are amazing in a smartphone, the smartphone experience is going to be on another level, because you are going to hold the device always, so build quality needs to be great. And if the display quality is amazing, you're going to look at the display quality, the smartphone experience becomes better in my opinion. Now the back panel on this device is not glass, it's not plastic, it's not metal. It's completely unique, which you will not really find in a lot of devices. This definitely reminded me of old OnePlus One days where we had that sandstone back panel. It's not like sandstone back, but it is something unique like sandstone back, and you can write on this with a pencil, erase with an eraser, something fun. Metal rails are present at the side, as I mentioned, and I mentioned the issue that metal rails means that the warmness is going to be something which you are going to feel very quickly. Overall, when you hold the device in your hand, it does feel like a premium flagship device. I personally enjoyed the in-hand feel of the device. Now let's talk about some small stuff. Vibration motor is really strong. It is very good. It is not as good as the iPhone 13. For the price tag of let's say 50,000 rupees, I'm happy with the vibration motor present on this device. You do get dual SIM card slot, physical SIM card slot. Stereo speakers are obviously present. USB Type-C port is present, which can charge with 65 watt, which is very fast and sufficient in my opinion. Now when it comes to battery life, this is where things are going to be interesting. Now I saw some people on Twitter saying that OnePlus 10 Pro gets 7 to 8 hours of battery life. I don't really know. Someone third person commented that people are saying this. I am not really sure how you can get 7 to 8 hours on OnePlus 10 Pro, because Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 is a power hungry processor. When I had turned the device to 2K resolution and 120Hz refresh rate, I was able to get 3 hours 30 minutes or up to 4 hours of battery life. As soon as I switched to Full HD Plus, it definitely went up, and I started getting slightly more than 4 hours of screen on time on the device. So if you think 4 to 5 hours of screen on time is good enough for you, then definitely this is good enough. But I definitely wanted slightly better battery life from this device, because this device comes with 5000 mAh battery. Now devices with Snapdragon 870, 865, all these devices, if they would have come with 5000 mAh battery, the battery life would have been slightly better as compared to how it is on the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 devices. Not just the Realme GT 2 Pro, but Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 devices. So what's the final conclusion? Should you buy the Realme GT 2 Pro? By the way, at the price tag of 50,000 rupees, you're going to get Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 LTPO 2.0 screen, a very good back panel, something unique, a microscopic camera. But there are a few things which are missing as well, which are usually present in flagship devices, such as there is no IP rating, there is no zoom lens, telephoto lens is not present over here, but then again iPhone 13 also does not have it. Are these things very necessary? I feel like IP67 rating is something which should have been present. I would have been very happy with it, but it is not here. Some things which Realme should work on is that in some very minor scenarios where ultra wide angle lens does not click very good pictures, if that's fixed. But overall, I enjoyed clicking pictures with the Realme GT 2 Pro. It felt like a flagship device, except for not having telephoto lens, but I did not really miss it in the last few days that I'm using this device. And I guess that's not it for this particular video. If you are getting the device at 45,000 rupees, which is the early bird offer, then it is even better. But in future Realme GT Master Edition जैसा कुछ हो गया ये डिवाइस के साथ, मतलब 25-30 के साथ लॉन्च किया था कुछ, and it was available below 20,000 rupees. Now if the device, this particular GT2 Pro comes at like 35,000 rupees, we are discussing it too early, I guess. Maybe next year that may happen. But overall, even at the 45 to 50,000 rupees price point, this is still a very good device.